So this is our desktop, and also after getting the folders or the Excel, the files, the report card system files, what you should do is to make sure that you put them on your desktop, and this is for easy access. And now let's go straight into opening the folders, because now for me I already have them on top of my desktop here. So I have the file here, can place it somewhere here where we can easily see it on my desktop. So now when I open it, I've labeled it, I've renamed it Senior 1. I can decide to give it another name. So now let me open the folder. So when I open the folder, I have something similar to that, where we are having the sample. These are just samples to the report cards. And now like this one, it is the sample to the midterm report card. That is how it looks like. Then this one is a sample to the end of term report card. That's how it looks like. It's of 2 pages. Then when we come here, we have the midterm shorthand report, and this is the midterm mark sheet, but then we shall have a look at those in the later videos. So now typically the folder I entered into was that of Senior 1, meaning it contains only Senior 1 information. And here you can see I have another folder, Senior 1 class, so I'll have to open it. Inside it we are having the student photos S1, meaning in this folder it is where you shall have to put all the Senior 1 photos labeled correctly or having corrective names. Either you can use number 001 depending, or you can use their original names, and that will help you, as we shall see the time to come. Now we also have this as the data entry sheet. This data entry sheet, it is where we have to put our student marks. So let me try and open it. So typically it is where we shall have to put all the student information, which information shall have to be displayed on the report card of the students. So now it has opened, and this is its interface. Now when you look at the bottom here, we have this menu here that is having the class teacher, and then the different subjects: history, geography, chemistry, and many others depending on the subjects that you are doing. So we have here language. So this one can be for any language subject that you study, if it is Luganda, if it is Kiswahili, or any other language. You can have it at that point. Still you can edit that part of lang to the respective subject name. Still at this point we have the other part. So this sheet is just there to improvise in case of any additional subject that is not included among these ones. So if you have any other optional subject that is not done, so you can add it here, or you can come among these ones and look for the one that is not offered into your school and then edit it or rename it. So like if I want to rename this other part to another subject, I can right click on that, then I come to this part of rename. On renaming, I will have to give it another name. Let me say geo. Let's say geography was not there, and I give that as a geography. So I will have it as that, but let me leave it as others. So that was just an example. So other, so you can edit it in that way. Now we have here the class teacher sheet. So in this sheet, it is where the class teacher should enter all the student information. We have column number 1 here, column A. is where the teacher has to put the learner's identification number or the student per code. That is if the learner identification numbers are not available. So the second column, the teacher should have to put the first names of the students followed by the second. Then in this column of the photos, it's where the teacher is supposed to insert the links of the student photos. So at this point of the stream, that's where we shall have to put the class of the learners followed by the house. Then we have days absent, games participated in. So let's have an example and we see. So I have some of the names here. Let me start with clearing them up so I can delete some of this information. Now let me say I'm inputting data for the first learner there. The per code would be like that. Let me put that as a sample. Then the first name, I can write John, and then the last name, let me write Doe. Then when I come to this part of inserting the image, what you do, you have to right click, you press the cursor into the cell and right click. On right clicking, you'll have this pop-up menu, then come to link, you place at the link. So here it shall bring a menu like this. And then remember, I talked about this point of where this folder where you are supposed to put all the student photos. So I shall come to this that student photos folder, then I open it. I have to locate the different photos of the students. Remember, I told you have to rename those photos with the student names, or you can give them their respective numbers to help you identify which photo goes to which student, because the photos won't display at this point. Now let me select this photo that I have there. So when I select it, when I select that, the link will have to appear like that. And when it appears, when I click into the link, I should be able to view the student photo. So when I click into the link, I should be able to see the student photo at that point. So that is that. Then let me say the class, the student is in S1. I have to import the other data. I say the house, let me say like parrot, like that. Days present, I have to import all that. Days absent, let me say 0. Total days 45. So this is a comment about the students' participation in games, like good basketball player, plus any other related information. After that, I have to press the Control S to save my data, or I can save from here at that point. So it is telling you Control Save, so you can save from that point and your data will be saved. So now that can be done for all the students, and it is done at this sheet by the class teacher. When we come to the subject teachers or the different subjects, so let's be like that at mathematics. At this point where you are going to input all the student marks, at that point where you are supposed to input all the student. So I'm just deleting all that information. Now let's say our student. Now you can see that I wrote the other side in the class teacher the name, and it is already appearing, and that will be the same. The name will continue appearing in the rest of the sheets of the different subjects. Therefore, the teacher should not fill the names in these sheets. Writing of the student names and the class and the learner identification number, that should all be done in this class teacher's sheet. Now let's say I want to input marks for mathematics, so I shall have to place at this point, open the worksheet for mathematics, so data entry sheet for mathematics, and then these white spaces is where we are supposed to put our marks. This is for activity of integration 1, activity of integration 2, activity of integration 3, like that. But if they have not done all of them, you can just put one subject. Let me say 1.5 students scored 1.5. So activities here, you can see this message telling you they should be out of 3. So when I write that, automatically it will give me the formative score, which is out of 20. So if they have done 2, I can add the other, let's say go to the other 2.5. Still the system will have to compute the total scores out of 20. Therefore, teacher should only fill the activities of integration at this point only in that point. So nothing should be written here and here, all that is automatic. Now for end of the year, this is out of 8. It is another point where the mark should be put, those marks for end of term. Let's say students scored 74, I have to put 84, and you see automatically it will calculate for the grade total mark out of 100, meaning it will add the formative out of 20 and the end of year out of 80, giving us 87.3 out of 100, and then it will give a grade and then put that in comment. And then when we come at this point, they are saying you can overwrite this with customized comments for individual learners, meaning teachers can write comments about the students' performance here manually, so a teacher can write. So all in all, the colored columns, nothing should be written in them. So these ones that are colored blue, while these ones which are white, you are free to enter any data respectively. So this can be done for all subjects. Let's say if I have English there, so here I already have marks for around 3 activities, and you can see that the system already made the average, the total, and the grade. The same points happens to other subjects, and that is okay with that. So now when we come to this panel where we are having these sheets, I have this one which is showing summary sheet for printing. So this summary sheet for printing, it summarizes the student scores. Let's say the first student I entered, this student John Doe, and you can see all his scores here. So this one can be printed just to see if each and every student has got their respective marks, or it can be printed and then it can be presented to the director of studies, the head teacher, or the director. It summarizes the student results. So we have the last part here, which is the system, and with this system sheet, nothing should be entered into it. No changes should be made, because if anything is altered at this point, then it might affect the whole system. Therefore, teachers should only use these parts having the subjects to enter the marks and the comments, and then the class teacher should use also his sheet or her sheet to enter the students' information. So we have another part. If you want to add a new student, you just add them at that point. Let's say I have another one like Harris Jane, like a student like that. I can have another one like Answers Greg. So I can have a student like that. Let me say I have Paul Tim, another student. So just a sample of those ones, and if you want to add any other new, you can add all of them at that point. There are 2 names plus their line numbers. Let's say I have identification, the learners numbers like that. So these ones I'm using as examples, but they can still be deleted as I showed you earlier. Now we would like to arrange these names in alphabetical order. So what you do, you select from the first student name and do the selection to the rest using one single column. So after selecting that, we shall come here to sort and filter. Then we come to custom sort, not sort A to Z. You go to custom sort, it will come to this with these 2. Expand the selection, control with the current selection. I shall go with expand the selection, then I say sort, and I say my data has headers, so I have to make sure if this one is not ticked or selected, you have to select it, ensure that there is a tick to show Excel that your data has headers, and this will help during the sorting, making sure that the those headers don't take part in the during the time of arranging from A to Z. So now I press OK. When I do that, you will see that it has organized the answers, Greg with his name, and the corresponding data the other side will have to move with the same thing. So that is how we can do the sorting to arrange these names alphabetically. So just choose on one column, or if you want to choose this one of the last names, choose only that and select all the student names. After that, come here, then custom. Don't sort A to Z or Z to A, come to custom. When you come to custom, continue with expand the selection. On that, make sure this part having my data has headers, the part is selected with a tick like that, and press OK. So you will see it sorting the data A to Z. So sort, and it will have the data sorted. And now if you want to remove, let's say you've had over 100 students and you want to remove any of the students, let's say they have changed the school. So what you do, just come at the section, let's say Harris Jane is not around, or let's say John Doe is not around. What I will do, I have to select the whole column, the whole row, having John Doe's information at that point. Then I will have to delete. I delete all his data. After doing that, I have to reselect this and rearrange. Remember, I've deleted one student and therefore there shall be gaps. Let's say we have deleted around 10. It means you will have the 10 gaps. Don't delete the row, but just delete the data in that particular row and leave it as an empty space. So after doing that, you do the reselection again and sort from A to Z. We said go to custom and continue with expand the selection. Then my data, make sure it is selected like that with a tick and press OK. So with that, it will have to remove the spaces that you had put earlier. So that's what we have in here. So after that, you save the data at this point. Save. After saving, then you can close. So in the next video, we are going to see how we can deal with our report card.
I try to find someone who sees her heart and cherishes her in many ways. I failed too. As for me, I return to the
Okay, so once again, we have come to continue with the launching of this report card. So we saw the data entry part. We said put the folder on your desktop for easy access. Now this part of the report card is where we are going to see how is it important to put the report card folder at an accessible point like the desktop. So now this is my folder S1. And then, like we saw, we have the midterm shorthand report. So I shall come here to S1 class student photos. I already have them and I inserted them. So we have the data entry sheet. So I'm done with entering all the student marks and their other information. So now we come to this report card system S1. So now let me open it. When we try to open it, it will give this pop-up menu. Then data from this location will be inserted into this publication. Do you want to open the publication and access the external data? So with that we shall press yes. So it shall bring another pop-up menu saying work without connection or try to reconnect to the data source. So for us, we shall come to this point of try to reconnect to the data source. We come to that point and then continue. When we come to continue, it will ask us to locate the data. So now our data, remember, it is the other folder of S1 students that I put on the desktop. So I shall come here on the desktop, and then I remember what name did I give it. It is S1, so it is this one, S1, and I try to open that. When I come here, where is the folder that is having my marks? I'm having midterm, so S1 class. I open, I come to the data entry sheet. So this is where I entered my marks from. So at this point I shall select that and say open. The rest I shall just press OK. So after pressing OK, it will open something similar to that. It will open something similar to that. So when I try to look at this report, let me zoom such that we get to see it clearly. So when I zoom, it shall appear like that. So this is our report card, like that. So this is the report card. And now you can see it is having here the link, the name, the house, the stream. So you should change nothing in those particular fields, though what you can do, like at this point, when you look at this point, that learners end of term 1 report card, that one can be edited if you want. It's the only point that where you can make some edit. Let's say it is term 2, you can come at that and you write term 2 or term 3 depending on the term. So if I want term 3, it will be like that, or if I want to change the year 2026, it will be like that. But now let me leave it at that, and it is term 1. So now the other point, so these other fields don't make any changes. Here we have the formative assessment out of 20. You remember those marks were input from the other data entry sheet, so they are copied from the other side and brought into this publisher system. We also have end of term scores out of 80 plus the total, so nothing should be changed at this point. When we come to the grade descriptor, still nothing should be entered at that point. What we shall have to enter, it is the teacher's initials. So also those ones we shall have to edit them, but we shall do it on this single report card. So now let's say the teacher teaching mathematics is HT, that is the teacher's initial. I can write it, then YT, maybe OU, like that. So I can put any the teacher's initials at those points. So the other point of edit that the class teacher can make is at the end this way. So here you can put the name of the game's master. It should be put at that. Let's say is Kajubi. The class T, the name of the game's master. So you write the name at that point. Then class teacher, this shall be the point of signature, also this. And then at this point you can edit the dates. Maybe they are closing the term on 2nd May 2025, and they are beginning on 29th May 2025. So you can edit at those points and then align those ones carefully. After doing that, you have to save. You can save at this point or just press Ctrl S. So we have another page. It is that one having the grading system, but then there is nothing to change at that point. Let's go back to this. So like I've told you, those areas, those are the areas of edit. So the class teacher should make edit on that, and edit is made on one single report. Then we have here the student photo. So after doing all that, the next part is to print our report cards. So you can see we have the name for our first student. So to print our report cards, we shall come to that point of mailings. When we come to that point of mailings, you can see that here I'm having number 1. It is record number 1, but when I press this forward arrow, you can see it can bring number 2. They do change with the respective names that I have the other side of the students, number like that. So and the rest, and still you shall see the information changing correspondingly. So when I'm done with all my editing, I shall come to the point of printing my report cards or finalizing with my report cards. So during the finalizing, you shall come to this point of edit recipient list. So edit recipient list in mailings. So at that point you come to this point, data source, then deselect all of the students. Remember, at first it comes as that, as it has selected all the rows that appear in Excel, and they're always very many. So first deselect all of them and select only the students whose report cards you are going to be making. So let's say I have those 6 students, there are 7 students there. So after selecting all my students, I shall have to press OK. After pressing OK, you come at this point of finish and merge. So we have that area, finish and merge. So here we have merge to printer, we have merge to new publication, add to existing publication, but for us we shall strictly come to merge to new publication. So I press to that point. So there it shall bring. So here are my 7 report cards that I selected from the other side, and therefore you can see I'm having the first one there, the second. So when I scroll down, you can see the other report cards, they are there. So the second is there. So I have this. I also have this report card. When I come here, you can see that there are others that are still there. The 7, I selected 7, and therefore I will have 7 of them. So those are the 7 report cards that I selected from the other side, and that is the report card for the last student. And when you look clearly, they all have the same information, like the teacher's initials, the date, when you come to the date of issue, and then next term beginning date, they all have the same information. So when I also come to that, you see it is having the same. When I come to the first one, you see the date is the same. So at that point I can print my publication or just save it by coming here into file, or I can press Ctrl save. So I can save it at that. When I save, I say save as, I shall save to the desktop. When I save to the desktop, I say S1 report cards, S1 report cards. So I save as publisher files now. I shall come and save as PDF. So when I say save as PDF, I say save, and then I wait for a moment, and I don't have the PDF saved as that. So now when I do scroll down, you can see those are the different report cards for all my students that I selected. Yes, so now that is that. So I can close everything. So it's saying save. I can save the information. Now this publication, it is the one that I was using to make the report card, so I don't need it. When I come to this, I can save the information, which is I had edited, such that I can keep it for further use. And now still we can come to the we saw these areas of midterm mark sheet, midterm shorthand report. Now let me start with the midterm mark sheet. So now the midterm mark sheet, this one only and only has marks for activities of integrations, and these marks are got still from the other data entry sheet. Therefore the class teacher should not enter any marks at this point. No marks should be entered at that point. This is because these marks are got from the data entry sheet, but we just use it to see that every student has got their marks. Now you can see here we have X everywhere. This is because the other side, the students are having no marks in the sheet. So now nothing to mind about at this point, though there are some times where you shall need to update the links such that this one links very well with the other data entry sheet. I think you can see this security warning saying automatic update of links has been disabled. Therefore what you should do, you come and press here enable the content, and it will have to update automatically. And you see the other side I have now the names. That's why also here when on updating it has removed all the names and the marks. So now with that I shall have to close, but before closing you have to save. When we come to the midterm shorthand report, the same thing will have to happen. Then it is saying opening this document will run the following SQL command. Data from database will be placed on this. You say yes, go to yes, and then it will appear like this. But again, sometimes if it doesn't bring directly you here, it will again request you to find the data source, and you shall have to follow the same process as we have done with the other report card. So the same procedure shall be followed with locating the data source where you have it on your desktop. Then you go to the folder, and still this one shall be copying the marks from the midterm mark sheet. So this one copies its marks from this midterm mark sheet, not going this side, for it does not copy marks from here. Since it is a midterm report, it will copy its marks from the midterm mark sheet. Therefore on finding the data source, you have to come to this point of midterm mark sheet, and then so it is telling us yes when we do have our mark sheets like that. So what we do also, you come to mailings when printing the report cards, edit recipient list. So select the number of report cards that you want for those students who did the mid-term. So still I shall select the ones I'm having. When I look, I have this one, I have this one, I also have that one, and press OK. So when I press OK, I shall come here to finish merge. So this one uses Microsoft Word. So I come and I press merge, and then edit individual documents. We have print documents, send email. So but for us we shall come to edit individual documents, and then OK, the rest shall be OK. On that we are having our folders like that. We are having, you see, the midterm report cards, but since these ones they are covering half a page, what you do, you can save them, or you can print them by pressing Ctrl P. When press Ctrl P, it shall come to that print as PDFs. But then you come here to page setup, you can see that this one is covering half of a page. Therefore you come to page setup, and then the orientation has to be portrait. We come to multiple pages. You have here normal, so you shall have to select there. You select on 2 pages per sheet. When you come on 2 pages per sheet, you shall have something similar to that, meaning they shall have to print 2 copies of the report card on one sheet, and then print, control with the printing, and then you save them as mid-term reports. So I save them on the desktop as that. So I close this. I don't save because I have already printed it. So let me close this. Some information is needed, I shall save. So that is our O-level report card system.